Can you reveal who we're talking about?
Yeah. Well, obviously we're talking about Lindy West. Obviously, do we talk about anyone else at this point?
One thing I like is how enlightened she is about relationships and polyamory.
Yes,
That's so
absolutely.
cool the way she, of her own volition, ended up like one of two girls
Gay?
for a guy. He ended up gay.
Do you want to read the book? I'll send it to you.
You'll
I'd
send
love
me
to see
a.
that. I've got the PDF.
I'd like to read it. I don't think I'm going to, but I'd like to, based on because I thought your and Helen's discussion was all I needed.
Kat and Phoebe had Lee Stein on their show this week. I highly recommend that for people who are interested in the ongoing Lindy West saga. And one thing I learned from this was that this book, so Lee pulled the what's it called? Publishers Marketplace. There's this like industry publication called Publishers Marketplace, and they publish announcements like your agent or your
A
publisher.
significant deal or whatever. There's
Right.
a code they use that corresponds to the
like
money range.
the amount of money that you got. So Lindy's did not have any indicator of the amount of money she was paid for the advance. Presumably it was high. She's a best-selling author. Although her second book didn't sell. Maybe it was a COVID book.
I say this as a poorly selling author, but if you had one bestseller like a decade ago, that doesn't mean you're if you've had bad results in the meantime.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get good.
My guess is that so what Lee saw from the Publishers Marketplace announcement was that this was originally pitched as self-help. Nobody take life
if you're
advice.
a woman and you want your husband to move another woman in, but you don't know how to ask,
yes. Okay, so thank you guys all for being here. We have people are trickling in. You want to do a reveal of my special guest? Let's see if he
do it.
Let's see. This makes for great audio.
Yeah, this is really good stuff. Oh, Moosey Pie.
There he is.
Moosey Poo.
Now you guys can all spend a moment talking about how adorable he is. Look at that. Just hanging out in his chair in my office.
A while ago, I went on. Oh, wait. The last thing I was going to say is I don't think I can read the book because whenever I see someone in like the Lindy West or Michael Hobbs orbit talk about weight loss drugs in kids and how we don't know the long-term effect, my brain rage, it's just so fucking insane that they can hold those two positions at the same time.
Yeah. There's definitely some strange element of that. There was something else about Lindy that I forgot to talk about with Helen on our episode, which is shout your abortion. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. It was basically like not just destigmatizing having got an abortion, but like
shouting it,
being
advertising
proud of it. Yeah.
Which I'm not sure. Abortion is very common. I don't know what the exact statistics are, but like lots of women have had abortions. I might be the only one who hasn't had an abortion, at least in this room. Yes, in this chat between the two of us, I'm the one less likely to have had an abortion. And I think the intention of that campaign was, it made sense, right? Destigmatizing this thing. But I think that there's also something like if you're trying to change minds, I don't think that's the way to do it. I think that people who are opposed to abortion, if you want to change their minds, I don't think being like loud and proud about it. I think taking it like
seriously. By the way, just in the chat, Greg has offered to crowdfund your abortion.
Well, he crowdfunded my IVF first. That's going to be quite a bit more expensive. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, someone says in the chat, all Shout Your Abortion did was convince more people that pro-choicers were psychopaths. I think that's probably true.
It was, I think it's an issue where most people have like pretty moderate, like, sort of European views. No, I did like actually pretty moderate views, but for me, the line that always stuck with me was like, it's just like any other healthcare decision.
Right.
When it's just like, it's not. Because if it was, people would be upset about miscarriages. Like, like it's more morally weighted than.
Right.
Can I go through, there was one thing I wanted to address just from the questions we got on Substack.
Sure. Are these from the page or from the chat? I posted it in the chat today.
From the page, yeah.
Okay.
I love you guys so much, but I hope Jesse isn't drunk at a friend's house for this one. Heart. First of all, we like you too. That was a one-time thing. First of all, I wasn't
Sure.
that drunk. I wasn't that drunk. I was at a friend's house. Megan McArdle was there. I thought having her come on as like a special guest would counteract the fact that I was drinking whiskey, but it was like a little douchey of me. I apologize for that. This is the only thing I've
to
ever
to force Megan to sit in for you. This is the only time Jesse's ever
I
been a
got
douche.
I passed out. I fell off the
Yeah.
screen, and Megan was like, "I guess I gotta take over."
No, the bad part of what you did was drive home after it was publicly admitting that you were driving home after you were drinking whiskey.
You're mixing up 2 different things. That
Oh,
that night, I waited a while. I was, like, fine to drive. There was never
mhm.
mind. We don't need this. Has
We'll crowdsource a
an
breathalyzer for
abortion.
Jesse. Yeah.
Has it been more difficult to find good topics for the pause since the worst
Wait,
of
I'm
what
not ready to move into the questions.
Oh,
Remember
okay.
we discussed this yesterday, we were gonna start with recommendations?
Yeah, okay. You go first. I
Okay.
have a recommendation.
Okay, so I have recommendations and anti-recommendations. So, for the recommendations, there is an Instagrammer, like, I think he's on TikTok too. I follow him on Instagram. His account is called Ride with Ian, and he is a psychopath who is spending his one precious life riding his bike across the world. So he has now ridden across, I believe, every continent except Antarctica, and that is next on his list. So I was following him as he was riding from Portugal to Japan, and he's like a very interesting storyteller. He's an ex-junkie who, like, never wears a helmet and smokes cigarettes and has a big American flag that he puts on on a flagpole on his bike. So he was, like, riding through China with this American flag on his bike. Didn't take long to get stopped by the police and told to take that thing down. He was in Iran when they were bombing Iran. Um, so that's my first recommendation. He's also on Substack, Ride with Ian on Instagram and Substack. My anti-recommendation, Jesse, have you heard of Friends Keep Secrets?
No.
Okay, so this is an anti-recommendation for many reasons. So, you know Dave Bird, you resemble him, and Benny Blanco, you resemble both of them. So, Dave Bird from what's his show called? Little Dicky, Little Penis?
Well, he's a little dicky.
Right, what's the show called? Dave.
Jesus, Dave. Well,
Dave,
the first
okay.
season of which was great. I never
I think
really got into the second season.
I really like his show. And I really like
It's really good.
his
He's
hip
really
hop.
good.
He's, like, very funny.
Yeah.
So, he, um he's best friends with Benny Blanco, the music producer who was married Selena Gomez, who married so far incredibly out of his league. No, there's never
They
been
also have a very good homoerotic episode about that within Dave.
about
Their
Selena.
friendship.
Okay, yeah, okay, so they're best friends, and they started this show. It's on Apple and Spotify, so it's like a podcast-ish show, but it's with video. So that's first of all an anti-recommendation. I'm, like, very opposed to this pivot to video. Don't wanna do it. Might have to, don't wanna do it. But, so this show is they have it's filmed in Dave and his wife's house, and they have cameras all over the house. So it's sort of like reality TV, but without a crew.
Yeah.
And they just have their famous friends come over. So, like, the first episode was just, like, the 2 of them and Dave's wife, who wasn't famous, I can't remember her name. And the second episode was Selena Gomez. That one was slightly more interesting. The third one is what's the ginger who looks like the super famous ginger musician who looks half-baked? Not High. He looks like he
The
wasn't in the
British one?
oven. Yes, Ed Sheeran.
Oh, Ed Sheeran, yeah.
Yeah. So, so they're just it's so fucking boring. It is people sitting around who are who are celebrities, so for good reason, they are convinced that they are fascinating, but it's like anybody who sits around with their best friend and thinks like, "We are so funny, we should tape this," it's that, and it's a really good reminder, I think, that stars really are just like us. They're very boring and convinced that they are not. So that is my
Yeah.
anti-recommendation. Watch it, but hate it. Do you have one,
Okay.
Jesse? Would you like to add one?
My recommendation for music is there's a band called Homefront. I can't stop listening to their I don't know what to do about the album titles. I can't help it. Games of Power and Watch It Die. You'll know pretty quick. These are like 2 to 3 minute really good rock songs with like synth elements. They're a Canadian band. And then old school internet comedy. Before he was super famous, Donald Glover was in something called Derek Comedy, which is just great. Like 2000, when was it? 2008, 2010, just really goofy comedy. And then along those same lines, Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney had a troupe called Beck Bennett, Kyle Mooney Comedy Troupe. What was it called? Oh, Good Neighbors. Yeah, Good Neighbors. All this stuff's on YouTube. It's just like not enough people know about it. It's so funny.
Yeah.
People are once again addressing the camera pointing up, which is less flattering than if I was like, but I'm just not. I like you guys, don't get me wrong, but I don't. It's fine. I'm not in New York. In New York, I have a nice setup with a big monitor and a camera up here. I'm in California, and
they
us
don't have
Californians,
they don't
we
have
care.
tables. Yeah. So are you in a bathroom? It looks like you're in a public bathroom in like a nice like a bank. Like
Yeah,
a
I'm
nice
having
bank.
like some really serious stomach
Oh,
issues, so I'm just doing this in
from
the
the live from the that's
mid
another thing about the Dave Bird, Benny Blanco show. Dave is oftentimes peeing, which he does sitting down with the door open while they're
because he has
filming it.
he has that peanut problem with his penis.
He has a penis problem. He also do you remember the episode that, actually, I did this one with Hadley Freeman. We talked about ARFID, this, like, eating disorder where people have, like, textural issues. So, Dusty doesn't listen to the show. It was a
No,
great
I listen to
episode.
it. I'm just saying ARFID is like it's always been a hard thing for me to
You think it's
understand what it
fake?
would be like to have it. No, I think it's real.
So, Dave Bird has this. He like because I don't know that they've only watched the first couple episodes of actually in the first maybe the second episode, Benny Blanco tries to get him to eat a pickle and he does it, but he can't even chew it. It just like falls out of his
I want
mouth.
to watch this show. This is like my kind of shit. One guy
It's
trying to get another guy to eat a pickle.
but they're also like there's girls there. You wouldn't understand it.
Oh, I wouldn't like it if there's girls there.
Yeah, so I have seen some other shorts that he's done on Instagram or whatever where Dave Bird tries different fruits for the first time. Like, the dude didn't eat a vegetable, and I think this is a storyline in Dave the Show. He didn't eat, like, a vegetable or a piece of fruit until he was, like, in his 30s, and he seems to have, like I believe this when I watch him. I don't think he's acting. I believe that he has these just, like, absolute disgust reactions to anything that isn't, like, Dino Nuggets and probably french fries.
I just wanna quickly address one question from the chat.
Mhm.
Well, Katie, tell me if you know what this means. Jesse, can you think of anything that would motivate you to make Aaliyah? Do you know what that means?
Aaliyah?
Or I
How do you
never know
spell
how to
that?
pronounce it. Aliyah.
No.
Aaliyah. How many tabs do I have open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 tabs open. That's where Jews from elsewhere uproot their life and move to Israel. Do you think that I will be doing that?
I think you should. I think it would be great if this was
like for
I think
content?
that the content would be great, like you podcasting from a bomb shelter would be great. Also, I think you joining the IDF would be hilarious.
That's one word for it, yeah.
Yeah. And also you love the food. I know that, so I think you would be happy there.
Well, I love Middle Eastern food.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm, like, strongly considering this, so I'm probably going to do it.
Okay. I think, like,
It'll affect the podcast time zone-wise.
No, I think it'd actually be good because you prefer to podcast later and I prefer to podcast earlier.
Let's see. When it's 8 PM in Israel, what time is it in
It's probably
Seattle?
like
It's gonna be
8
worse than
AM.
you think. Oh, 10 AM in Seattle is 8
Perfect.
PM in Israel?
Perfect. I like to record at 9, but I'll do 10.
It says never mind. There's a post
Yeah, you have to explain it now.
Oh, I'll text you.
Should we take
I
some
think
questions?
I would yeah. Hold on. Well, I just wanna say, I think Israeli culture and me would be a really good match because I'm very, like,
Jewish.
masculine,
Yeah.
muscular.
Yeah.
I have sort of, a pretty militaristic mindset. Okay, fine. Last thing I'll say about this: compromise. If they can do the whole peace process thing, like a 2-state solution, and end the occupation, I will move there. If they do it in the next week, like
Would
clean
you be
everything up.
would you be allowed to move to Israel just because,
I
you're
believe they have
Jewish?
a very generous system where as long as you can prove you're like a pretty Jewish,
Do you
yes,
think I
I
could do
believe
it?
so. No, because you're not Jewish.
My
Actually, have you ever done a 23andMe?
I share a last name with the president of the country. My last name is much more Jewish than yours. Yours is Hindu.
It's also much more German than mine. So,
Jewish.
um, okay. The question I wanted to address first has it been more, and this is substantive, and then we'll go back to jokey stuff about me
I'm
moving to
not
various war
joking.
zones. Has it been more difficult to find good topics for the pod since the worst of the woke left has kind of died down and everything seems to be more serious and depressing? Short answer, I think yes. Katie, care to expand?
I don't think there's any lack of internet bullshit stories. In fact, I think the internet bullshit, there's almost more shit. Excuse me. There's almost more internet
You said
bullshit.
intershit. Intershit
Intershit.
is
Yes.
shit between two other pieces of shit.
Shit. Yeah. I think there's more of that, but I think that the stakes are higher and that makes it less fun. Does that make sense? Like, I think
Yeah.
the right is as, like, psychotically online as the woke left, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's for the because they have power and, like, it is institutionalized in the federal government in a way, and yes, like, there were attempts to do some of the same stuff when Biden was in office, some of it, but
Yeah.
the Trump administration has been so effective at seizing control and using it, and they're so online and, like, implementing some of the elements of the worst of the online right. Like, JD Vance is a fucking incel. I mean, he's not an incel, obviously, but he has that, like, that right-wing online ethos, and when you
Or he
have
says he does. I don't really know what he believes.
well, that's what we like, the stuff about, like, the Haitians eating cats,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all of that stuff being institutionalized in the White House, like, it's not I mean, it's funny, but it's so dark
It's not
that
ha-ha funny.
it's right, right,
Well,
it's like,
it's
"I'm gonna
yeah.
kill myself" funny, right.
Well, it's the
So
same with like oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Um, one of the biggest far right figures right now. He's not like strictly speaking far right. He's just a moron, but like clavicular. So there
Mhm.
was this,
I don't think he's
all
even
this.
political.
Well, no,
He's right wing.
he was chanting about Hitler in a car with
Yeah,
fucking.
but he also
He's a
said
moron, is
that
what
he
he
would
is.
vote for Gavin Newsom over JD Vance because Gavin Newsom mogs and JD Vance is subhuman.
Sure. But PJ Vogt did a really good episode on that with Jasmine Sun, who's a really good reporter on like all things Bay Area. And there was Joe Bernstein. A lot of good journalists covered it. Joe Bernstein did something for the Times, and I was like reading and listening about this guy Clavicular, who's very much in our wheelhouse of like super online bullshit. And I'm just like, yeah, same as you. Like, I'm gonna blow my brains out. This is so fucking dark. Clavicular,
Right.
who like has a huge audience among teenage boys mostly,
I'm a
is
fan.
the most. He's so
He's
devoid
empty.
of. He's empty. He's just devoid. Full stop. Whereas I think a lot of good bar pod characters, like, they're a little bit more complex than that. Like, a lot of them are opportunists or will throw other people under the bus for power, but that's, like, very human stuff.
Mm.
They're human beings. Is JD Vance still a human being? I don't know. Is Clavicular a human being? Definitely not.
So, yeah, I think the other thing is so those stories so you mentioned Clavicular. Clavicular, we did an episode on Clavicular right after he started to go viral for that
We talked
insane
about him a little.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
we did a full segment on him.
Well, full segment. I just, in terms of like, well, sorry, continue.
Okay, so my point is someone like that so yes, this is the Bone Smasher. So someone like that, he's getting covered in right-wing in mainstream media immediately, whereas, like, the
Yeah.
blowups that we talk about, that we were more talking about and we still do these stories,
Yeah.
but a lot of them are completely ignored by mainstream media, and, like, are
That's a good
we
point.
gonna do as good a job on a Clavicular story as the New York Times sending Joe Bernstein to his parents' house in wherever or his apartment in Miami and like, going out with him while he's live streaming at the club? No.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it gets a little bit trickier, is that a lot of the right-wing online stuff is covered by these big institutions and these great reporters, whereas a lot of the stories, the like woke left stories, they fucking ignored it. And that was a huge advantage to us. And we just don't have that advantage as much today.
Asuka says, Jesse, if you saw the Red Scare girls today, would you still get all flustered? I don't think I ever got flustered.
Oh, come on.
When did I get flustered?
When we were in LA, when we went to, I don't know if you were flustered, but every man, we went to this was when the Free Press was doing this debate on.
Just say it. There's no way to not sound douchey. We were at the rooftop after party.
We were at the after party of the Free Press thing, and every man was like, it was like moths to a flame, like surrounding Dasha and Anna. And the funniest part was that they smoked cigarettes, of course. And they're men like trying to bum cigarettes from them just to be near them, which I'm telling you, like, no woman is like, yes, this dude, like, unless she's already into you, that's not a good technique. Like, she doesn't want to give you her cigarettes. But so I saw men who, like, very clearly had never smoked a cigarette before. They're like holding it between,
Dasha.
like holding it between like a pinky and a ring finger, trying to look cool and get near them. You didn't smoke, to your credit, but
I told you my story, which was, I met a guy, a journalist I hadn't seen for a long time, actually a long time ago, intern of mine, and we were catching up, and he was saying like he really wanted an invite to get introduced to Dasha. I didn't really know them, but I helped facilitate the intro, and then apparently they talked for a while, and then Dasha just all of a sudden is like, "Are you gay?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then
is he?
Yeah, he's not gay. Sorry, said no.
He should have just lied and said yeah.
He's a straight man, but then she's like, "You are gay, you just don't know it yet," and walked away, which is the most like aloof, like Red Scare. But they've gone so fucking crazy. That's the other thing is like, the sort of, we've talked about this, but like I don't know if they're heterodox. They were heterodox. There was a time when like, you know, the Atlantic would, I'm making this up, but the Atlantic has a story where the headline's like, why your teenage son is a rapist, even if he isn't, or some shit like that. And there weren't a lot of people who could just openly say, maybe that's dumb. And it brought a lot of relief to listen to them or the Fifth Column.
Yes.
And then Fifth Column didn't go crazy, but a lot of other people really went crazy. Although Brent Weinstein is now apologizing. Well, did he apologize?
He didn't apologize. No. He said, "I'm not going to apologize for voting for Trump." He did and then he followed it with some conspiratorial thing about justifying his vote for Trump.
Someone said cool. I just wanted to someone said cool story, Jesse. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Should we take another question? Do you guys want to see Moose again?
Let's see Moose again.
Okay.
Here, I'll handle this question while you do this. Are the Celtics a legit title contender with Jason Tatum back? How does Vucevic's injury affect your outlook, if at all? Of course, these questions are for Katie. The Celtics are a contender to get to the finals. The Vucevic injury barely matters. If the Celtics get to the finals, they will probably lose to whoever comes out of the West, but I think it could be a good series. Katie, do you agree?
Yes. Do you see how Moose and I are holding hands?
Moose is so cute.
Yeah, he is really cute.
A dog randomly wandered into my garage yesterday.
Oh, wow.
That's not very good garage security.
No, it's not. Okay. More questions. All right. What else do we have? Do you have the page pulled up?
Oh, wait. I started making my own Google Doc with you mean the questions from Substack?
Yeah.
Who won the Pigeon Wars? We know I won the Pigeon Wars.
You're with you. How did you? Oh wait, no, you
Nets.
He caught them in a net, apartment. And then he drowned them in the East River.
And then I tortured them to death for information. Okay, wait, I'm going back to the Substack page to make sure I didn't miss questions.
Someone says, what's with this weird episode? They're really phoning it in. Guys, this is not an episode. Every time we do one of these lives, somebody will complain. This is not an episode. This doesn't take away from your...
Unbelievable.
I promise you. You're still going to get your prepped episodes this month. This is not an episode. This is a casual chat between two business colleagues who sometimes like each other and sometimes don't, depending on Jesse's period. Okay.
My cycles.
Yeah. Jesse, have you considered peptides?
No, have you?
I'm considering it now.
What's your stat? What's going to be in your stack?
I want collagen. That's, like, the main thing is I
Yeah.
want my face to stop aging. Moose is trying to leave. He doesn't like it when I talk about peptides. He's like, "They're not FDA approved." Um, so I do find them I find